Konnichiwa. Boku wa PrinceofMacedon da. And I'm going to give you a commentary video for Men of War multiplayer battle. I am commanding the Japanese, and my opponent is Lord Redlaw in command of the USA. And my opponent actually drew first blood. He used his M24 Chaffee to kill one of my infantrymen. And you have not missed any action as of this point. So on that account, I feel relieved because I hate making summaries. Anyways, I destroyed his Chaffee there with my Cheeto tank. And that guy's trying to repair his track. And I have a jump on the score. I have 2 flag points, and my opponent has 1 flag point. So I'm going to bring out another Cheeto. That is a medium Japanese tank. And my opponent damaged the track on my first Cheeto tank. And my opponent's doing a pretty good job of keeping his tanks hidden, because as you can see, I can't even see what's shooting at me right now. Anyway, I'm fighting this on the country map. I believe it's called country. And this is on the new patch 1.17.5. And I haven't used Japan in a long time. But this is played with all vehicles. And here I was using direct control to target my opponent's troops. But then I saw some US infantry rushing at my bank there. By bank, I don't mean like a place where you deposit money. I'm talking about the my side of the shoreline. But anyways, our infantry is going at it now. I'm going to bring up some of my tanks to support my frontline infantry. And look at that, my opponent's bringing this heavy machine gun right in full view of my guys. So my Cheeto is able to take care of those guys. That was a very bold move though. I'm going to try to take command of that heavy machine gun, but then my opponent brings out a Sherman tank, so I stop my infantry guy from rushing forward. I make him crawl back, and then my Cheeto takes out that Sherman tank. And then my other Cheeto takes out a US sniper, so I got kind of lucky there. But you can see on the mini-map that my opponent has a troop hidden back there. Like, he appears only when he's firing, but once he's done firing, he's well concealed again. So I need to bring my infantry up to observe where my opponent's troops are hidden. And then my first guy got nailed, but at least I saw what kind of unit was doing that, and that was an American M18 Hellcat. So there is a Hellcat hidden in those trees somewhere. And that's a very deadly tank destroyer. It's very fast. It's kind of fragile though, but the advantage of using tank destroyers like the Hellcat is that it's super fast, and it's good for outmaneuvering tanks. What am I doing? I'm spreading my infantry out on my front lines here, and I'm gonna crawl them because I know there's a lot of U.S. troops ahead of my guys there. But there's only about 8 minutes left in the battle, and I controlled 2 of the flag points. So you can see that my score is going up. So my opponent really needs to take the middle flag point, which is that bridge right there. And here my opponent somehow set up this heavy machine gun nest. I don't know how he put those sandbags in full view of my guys, but he did. So that's what a heavy machine gun looks like up close. And looks like my opponent killed one of my guys with this Hellcat, but I had a supporting Cheeto tank, and that supporting tank was able to take out my opponent's M18 Hellcat. And just then, another US tank appeared, and this one is an M4A2 model Sherman tank. So we're going to redirect our attention there, and then one of my tanks was able to destroy the hull on that Sherman tank. I think my opponent should have used his Hellcat to outmaneuver my tanks there, instead of trying to duke it out, you know, head to head. But I'm going to make a bid for my opponent's last remaining flag point. I'm going to use this guy to scout the way. That is Tomoyuki, I guess. I don't know. But he's going to go forward, and it looks like my opponent brought up some assault infantry somewhere, but my tank was able to take them out. Yeah, on these open maps, the vehicles are a lot more advantageous to use, but on a closed map with lots of buildings, then you need a very good mix of infantry and armored vehicles. Alright, so here comes an American tank coming forward here. A very bold move, and he actually destroys one of my Cheeto tanks, and that appears to be a Pershing tank. That's a very heavy American tank. Now I took out the crew of one of my tanks, but my guys are able to start repairing that Cheeto near the bridge. And we're going to redirect all of our fire on that Pershing tank, because the Pershing tank, they represent a very big danger against my my armor. And there we take out its track, or at least we damage it. So that'll keep it immobilized for a bit, but it can still fire though. So I'm not out of the danger just yet. Bringing up some infantry. I'm gonna try to sneak up on it. And looks like finally one of my tanks, it was a Chiri, and that Chiri was able to take out the Pershing tank. So I brought out the bigger gun to take out his big gun. And I am inching towards my opponent's flag point on top. And that right there, that tank right there, that is my Chiri. It's got a very advanced armor design there. That's considered a heavy tank. And as I stroll forward, one of my opponent's troops is firing at my advanced scout. But my my guys are able to take out those dudes shooting at me. And I appear to be losing infantry somewhere. Oh, I guess right there by the bridge. But I've got tons of infantry, so I can easily just move more infantry up to replace my losses. And what else is going on here? Nothing right now. There's my opponent's flag point. I want to take that. And that's my Chiri. I'm taking shots from somewhere out there. And I'm bringing up another Chiri now. So now I have 2 Chiris and 2 Cheetos. And I got tons of infantry. But what am I doing? I'm bringing up more infantry. I'm going to try to move forward. And my Chiri takes out a Sherman tank up there somewhere. And there is an American unit by the bridge. There it is. And that's a very bold move again, just strolling forward like that, when he knows I have all these tanks up here. And he is rocking his tank back and forth, but my Chiri is able to destroy the hull on that tank. I think with all these tanks that my opponent's bringing out, I think he should be using some to outflank me, and that would have made his firepower more effective. But now I'm taking a lot of my tanks out, or I'm taking a lot of my crewmen out to repair my tanks, because it seems like a lot of my tanks are damaged in some regard. And there's my Chiri tank right there on the road, and I'll be bringing him forward a little bit. And well, there's really not a whole lot to talk about right now. Right now, there's only 3 minutes left, so I'm content to hold on to my 2 flag points. But as I said, I do want to take his last flag point. And here's more of my infantry. I'm just going to cross the bridge here. I want to scout the area ahead of my guys so I can possibly advance my tanks forward and do more damage to my opponent. Because I could win just like this, but I do want to go forward. And there is a US troop right there. There's actually a few troops right there. They are on the ground, and my guys are going to take him out. So he still has infantry nearby, but I was hoping that with all those losses that he took to his armored units, that he wouldn't have too much armor power left. But apparently he still has quite a few infantrymen left, so I'm taking some losses now. I got this guy behind those trees, or behind those pieces of log. And it looks like a lot of those guys shooting at me are our tank crew. So my guys should be able to take those guys out, even without tank support. But I do have tank support in them anyways. And some of those guys appear to be regular infantry. And here's my my Cheeto tank. Still repairing the track on that. And there's a guy running back there. He ran out of view. And I'm gonna make more infantry. And these are riflemen now. I like using riflemen just because I feel like they're more expendable. But really, no one's expendable. But that's the way I feel. Alright, here is my my Chiri tank. And he's gonna go forward a little bit. But I don't want to advance too far, not without infantry support. Just because I'm pretty sure my opponent still has some infantrymen lying around here. And I don't want to lose a tank with only a minute left on the clock. But you can see that my score is way up there. That's because I've been holding these 2 flag points for most of the battle. But still, it's really not a good idea to fall into the habit of losing troops unnecessarily, even if you're winning. It's really a good habit to not do that. But that said, I'm going to advance my tanks across this bridge. I feel that my opponent lost so many tanks already that he couldn't have too many you know, effective troops left. I'm going to take the risk. I'm going to advance forward with 2 Cheeto tanks, and I'm bringing up some infantry to follow them. And right there, we killed a tank crewman right there. So yeah, I expect most of his guys to just be the crew from those tanks that I destroyed. Gonna advance forward. There's 17 seconds left. Gonna stroll through those tanks. Gonna crash that building right there. And that's where I expected there to be some American troops, but apparently there's nothing there. And over here, there were some American troops there. They're right there on the beachhead. My guys destroyed them. Good game to my opponent, Lord Redley. I hope you guys enjoyed this battle on the country map.